Ever since I sold my first computer, I knew that I wanted to do stuff with with those things. The key thing, as with all software, but with AI, that's especially true, is to make it really work. I know MCP is definitely the talk of the town these days. The UI and the user experience in general is still definitely going to go through a lot of transformation. Really is no point in trying to be on the latest and greatest model, because whatever is latest and greatest, this month may be superseded by something else next month.
Yeah.
If you haven't adapted, then you're dead.
Hi, I am Aurora, the AI assistant of this channel. Today's guest is Jelle van Geuns, a seasoned entrepreneur and product leader with 10 plus years of experience in the Salesforce ecosystem. He is the founder and CEO of Cirra AI. He previously founded Decisions on Demand, a bootstrapped startup that served multiple Fortune 500 companies. Subscribe to our channel and enjoy watching.
Jelle, thank you for being here. It's so great that you have time in your day-by-day startup journey to meet me here in NVIDIA Santa Clara studio. You know that we are very close to NVIDIA headquarters.
Yeah.
And I decided that my studio will be NVIDIA, kind of.
I didn't even get that.
Because I guess I don't have right to use brand name, but still just for fun. Well, how long have you been staying in Silicon Valley? Could you say
It's about 26 years now, so quite a while. Yeah, I grew up in the Netherlands and went to school there. Right after graduating, I moved to Singapore and spent 5 years there, and then came here to the US in 1999.
Well, it's a long journey. What do you think about Singapore? Is it the same cool ecosystem for startup as the Silicon Valley? What is the difference?
I mean, it's been a while, right, since I was there. At the time, not so much, but I think now it's become very entrepreneurial as well. It's obviously an amazing place, very, very unique in terms of, the multiculturalism and the entrepreneurial focus that they have. So I had a great time there, but I'm pretty happy here now also.
Yeah, yeah. And does it mean that you're an immigrant to United States? Where is your place of birth? States or Netherlands?
No, I was born in the Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Because my channel is about immigrant stories as well. And surprisingly, I thought that you so long in a States that you was born in States, but
No. I'm definitely an immigrant.
I guess it was your parents' decision to move to States.
No, it was all me. So I was in the Netherlands until graduating from university, and so after that moved to Singapore and got my first job there for a small French software company called iLog, and later on came here for them as well. So spent a fair amount of time there. iLog got acquired by IBM, did a couple of years in IBM, and after that decided to start my own company.
What was your major in the university?
Computer science.
Computer science.
Yeah.
It's so cool that you keep your path in a computer.
Yeah, definitely. I was fortunate that, ever since I sold my first computer, I knew that I wanted to do stuff with with those things. I don't even really know why, but very clear to me, and it wasn't a bad choice. So.
Yeah, because my story is very different. I started with in a legal space, then in a agricultural space, and during that education process I realized that I'm an entrepreneur in a marketing space. It's a kind of very, very different ways. I know that your previous venture was Decisions on Demand. Could you say a few words about that company?
Yeah, absolutely. So, at iLog, one of our products was a business rules engine, kind of old style software, like on-premise software. And after I did my 2 years in IBM, I was looking for a way to start my own company. So my goal was to take this business rules technology and deploy it on the cloud in a way that would make it more accessible. And Salesforce was seemed like a great platform for that. I didn't really know anything about Salesforce at the time, other than that it was, a way to get software into the hands of people much easier and faster than the old style software delivery methodologies. So, built this product kind of, the way you're not supposed to, as in I've built a product and then try to figure out what it was for. So, but, it turned out that people in the Salesforce ecosystem really wanted to use the rules engine for lead assignment. So that's kind of what Decisions on Demand evolved into, a lead assignment engine, and kept building capabilities on top of that for almost 12 years, I think.
Yeah, cool journey. Could you remember how was it to switch your career from employment base to being entrepreneur? Did you feel fear or some curiosity? Could you remember?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say fear, but it is a bit of a jump, to give up that paycheck. But at the same time, I was always kind of interested in building new things and developing new initiatives. So even at iLog and IBM, I was more kind of building things internally, new products, new initiatives. So kind of like an intrapreneur within those organizations. And at some point I was, like, okay, I'm in Silicon Valley. Why am I doing this inside of a big company? Why not just do it for myself? As as a software engineer, especially, maybe it's less true now, I don't know, but at the time anyway, you always feel like you can find some sort of job if everything goes wrong, and so the risk was not as it didn't feel as intense. But yeah, it is different to not have the infrastructure around you, and have to figure out a bunch of stuff around insurance and things like that to make sure that you don't expose yourself to crazy risks. But at the same time, what's great about the environment here is that it's a very normal thing to do. It's not like people will look at you like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
It's everybody's doing it, so it's there's a whole ecosystem of other founders around that can help you and kind of give you guidance on how to do things. It doesn't feel like as big of a risk as maybe it would feel in some other places that are less entrepreneurial.
Does that company exist now and keep operating? And
no, I merged with another company, and so I stepped out of it about a year ago. Since then, I think it's not been doing so well, unfortunately.
But it's kind of operating inside a bigger company.
Yeah, but it's been having some problems that I'm not really sure why or what the reason for that is. But
because I think it's a very difficult merge process. Usually, it faces many of issues with corporate culture, merge of technologies, and so on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, looking back, I might have done it differently. But at the time it seemed like a good idea. But the outcome was not exactly what I'd hoped out of it. But there's nothing much to be done about it now. So.
Do you consider that it was for your successful exit?
No, the exit not so much. No, it definitely could have been a lot better.
That just was an experience.
It was a lesson learned for sure. Yeah,
as we like to say in Silicon Valley, everything is an experience.
Right. Yeah. The whole process was definitely worth it, and I'm proud of the company and the product that we were able to build. But yeah, no, the exit was not what I had envisioned.
How many people did you have at the end of that when you exit?
I mean, it's always stayed pretty small. Like at the peak, maybe we had about 10 people, and then towards the end, it's closer to like 4. Some offshore, some local.
But still, you have a kind of client portfolio, ongoing revenue, and so on. How was it to start a new venture again after 12 years building company, investing your time in people, in technology? What was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, after those 12 years, kind of it felt like time. There was the company kind of run out of steam. It wasn't growing as much anymore. So it was still, doing its thing for existing customers, but it was definitely felt like, time for me to try something new also. And, this coincided with the whole, emergence of LLMs and Gen AI, which I've always been interested in AI, ever since university days. But, this was obviously the time when it was really coming into the forefront of the software industry. So it felt like a great time to make that transition.
Let's jump in your current project. Please provide some, what is the difference between all of that hundreds, thousands agents and a core product in your company? And Cirra, is it right?
Yeah, Cirra AI, yes. Yeah, so we're building AI agents for Salesforce administrators and consultants. We're trying to help take the time-consuming, boring work off the plate of the people who set up Salesforce and who keep it running. And there's a lot of like clicking around and stuff that doesn't require a ton of real intelligence, but does require knowledge
and time. Knowledge.
And time. So that's a great use case for AI, because the human is still there to share the judgment and to give some guidance, but a lot of the time consuming and boring work can be automated away. So I think the key thing, as with all software, but with AI that's especially true, is to make it really work. So you can quite quickly sometimes build a prototype that is really cool and it's like, shows a lot of promise and clearly shows where things are going. But when the actual application is pretty complicated, like Salesforce is, there's 1,000 different screens and configuration settings and everything to make it work, even for some fairly basic use cases, actually not as easy as it would seem, because you can easily, kind of almost get there, but the AI can't quite figure it out, and then it just loops and loops and gets stuck in, and ultimately tells you, okay, this is how you can do it yourself, rather than actually doing the job, which is not what you want. You want it to actually do the work and do it right and reliably and hopefully quickly. So that's where we can add the value to bridge the gap between the complexity of the platform, the Salesforce platform, the capabilities of the AI, and they're really smart and pretty good at understanding what needs to be done and how they should do it. But the detailed parts of exactly which properties to pass in that API request, etc., that's where sometimes it breaks down. So that's the kind of the glue that we're building.
Oh, cool. And where are you now? What is your progress? Have you reached that level of quality, of precisions? What do you think?
Partly. So for certain use cases, yes. So we're about to release an MCP server, which will make it much easier to plug into tools like Claude and soon hopefully OpenAI, the ChatGPT as well.
Could you say a few words more about MCP? What is that protocol, and just for our audience?
Right. So MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. So it's essentially a standard way to plug systems into an LLM to let.
Yeah, does it go by Microsoft, as I remember? Not?
No, it was developed by Anthropic, the makers of Claude, but it's been supported by at least OpenAI and other LLM vendors.
Because I remember Microsoft said about MCP on their conference as well, that they want to use some universal protocol to connect agents and so on. Is it MCP?
There's another protocol called A2A, agent to agents, that I'm actually less familiar with, but that's pushed by Google, I believe. So not sure about Microsoft. I know MCP is definitely the talk of the town these days. And so what it allows you to do is to basically, allow LLMs with all their general knowledge of the world to take actual action. First of all, to access systems, complex systems like Salesforce, but it's also, email and systems like Stripe and any kind of external system that contains data that is relevant to the reasoning process. That so rather than having the user have to copy paste all that information into the system, MCP can find it for you. But more than that, it can also take action. So it can, like in the Salesforce context, it can create a user, it can set up a field and an object and change the page layout and configure the whole system essentially. You can even generate code. So it makes the LLM way more capable. It doesn't just tell you what to do or give you answers to questions. It can actually do things on your behalf. So that really unlocks a huge amount of power. And then there comes with challenges of, first of all, reliability and doing the right thing, but also security and making sure it can't do things that you wouldn't do as a user.
Yeah.
And giving you, making sure that there's some level of control.
By the way, should we expect some separate device, kind of from OpenAI, for example, which will be stand on your desk with your laptop, and a separate device which will be operating autonomously? Kind of. Should we expect that? What do you think?
I don't know if it's a separate device, but I think the UI and the user experience in general is still definitely going to go through a lot of transformation.
Yeah.
Because chatting and especially typing is not the most conducive way to do many tasks. Some tasks, yes, but not everything. And often you want more visualization, more complex data to be presented to you, and then you want to interact directly with that data, but with the AI doing the guidance. So I know that Perplexity released a browser, which is an AI-powered browser.
Have you tried?
I've not tried it yet. No,
I tried it. It's good. Yeah.
I think the whole experience of interacting with the AI and with the world through LLMs is still very much like in its very early stages. So it's hard to really envision what that's going to look like, but I do feel pretty confident that the underlying connectivity to the systems of the world, like through MCP, is going to be important in whatever form the user experience takes. It has to be able to do things, and then the MCP provides it that ability to do things.
Do you use voice for coding?
Not for coding, but started using it for interacting with the LLM in general, like just for asking questions, but also for like configuring Salesforce and basically rather than typing things, giving it voice commands. Yeah.
I use a lot of not for coding, but for make instruction and so on. How do you use ChatGPT and Claude, for example? And what is your favorite LLM for work?
I mean, I use Claude a lot now, specifically because of the MCP capabilities and because, that's the tool that we're integrating our product into. So for work, mainly Claude. I kind of have my private things on ChatGPT. So personal things, I ask ChatGPT, and professional things more Claude. But these things leapfrog each other all the time, so I wouldn't say that necessarily. I think Claude is better at everything. It's just I just use those two separate so that I can kind of keep tabs on both of them and see what they're doing. But both are amazing. Very often you kind of forget how amazing it is that we're able to do these things and have these kind of conversations with the LLMs that like 2 years ago would have been completely impossible, and now it's just very natural. You can even just have a chat with the LLM and talk back to you very naturally. And
could you say your opinion about Google ecosystem? Why don't you use Gemini and all that stuff?
I have not really experimented with Gemini, and I mean, in the past I've used Google Cloud, and that works fine for hosting software. I've used all three: AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure. I would say I'm not super happy with Azure, but the support was kind of disappointing. But the other two are fine. In terms of the AI capabilities, it's more just a question of time, and because things go so fast and they leapfrog each other so quickly, there really is no point in trying to be on the latest and greatest model, because whatever is latest and greatest, this month may be superseded by something else next month.
Yeah.
So, just kind of keeping those two, Claude and ChatGPT, and understanding what they can do, seems to be sufficient. But I can see a time if we like move our platform to Google Cloud, where the Gemini capabilities could become more important, because there are non-MCP use cases also that are still relevant for us.
Let's discuss your team. What is your strategy with all that technologies which so fast developing? How do you build your team right now in your startup?
So, the team right now is still pretty small. We only have like 3 full-time people, and then some advisors and supporting staff for the marketing, etc. So, it's the most important is the people that you trust and that you can rely on, that have the right kind of entrepreneurial spirit and are able to understand that things have to move fast, and you have to do just enough of what's necessary, and not over engineer, and not make things overly complicated, and then that believe in the vision of what we're doing.
Are you going to increase number of team members, or you just keep that 3, maybe 4, 5 people which can build the whole system and make a customer success? Because I heard a lot of entrepreneurs that they're going to just keep a very, very small team and automate this AI, everything as possible.
Yeah, definitely smaller is better, right? For multiple reasons. I don't think you can build a sustainable company with just 3 people. So definitely it would help to have a little bit more in terms of development. Ultimately, probably more sales and marketing. But I do think a lot can be automated, and just adding people for the sake of it is certainly not not the path that I would go for. So I prefer to have fewer people that are really capable of using tools, AI tools, but other tools as well, to be efficient and to deliver results using those tools, rather than just hiring more and more people.
You mentioned that it's difficult to build relationship long term with partners, but what's about first employees? Everyone in Silicon Valley compete to the talents. What do you think about hiring first employees? Is it a challenge for you?
I'm not sure that I'm the right person to really answer that. I've never built like a large team, so I think it doesn't have to be someone in Silicon Valley necessarily. You can very easily work with remote teams, especially roughly in the same time zone. And with some flexibility, it's also quite possible to work with people that are much further away. It does have drawbacks, but my previous team was like fully distributed, and I see no problem doing that with this company as well. At least until like some level of scale where it might start to make sense to have some of the key people together. But there's definitely a lot of very, very smart people not in Silicon Valley. They definitely don't have to be here. Maybe if you're doing some very cutting edge AI research, but our value add is not necessarily in like building new models or even like training new models. It's really in bridging the gap between what those models already know and can do, and the complexity of the systems that we're trying to automate.
I agree with you, because we are seeing that it's a crazy stuff that Meta hiring people from OpenAI. I think you heard about that paying some $10 million. And it's a very competitive area for talents, but of course depends on the qualification and the expertise which we needed.
Those are crazy numbers, of course. That's a very small number of people, and even then, it's very unclear whether that the delta in capability between those people is worth that kind of money. But who knows? Maybe.
Have you heard from first hand something about that transitions?
No, I'm still waiting for my offer.
Well, and let's dive a little bit deeper about in a Salesforce environment. As you said, you've seen Salesforce ecosystem from many angles, every angles, and why are AI agents actually the reasonable and natural next step to Salesforce? Because if you drive 101, you see a lot of ads and everything everywhere. Salesforce sales agents, how they say something like that, and they have a lot of agents inside. I think for many of features they're trying to implement AI capability. Why is it the right time to do something for Salesforce?
Well, so I mean, first of all, Salesforce themselves are building this whole Agentforce platform in order to bring AI capabilities mostly to their end users, to automate customer support, to automate sales activities, etc., marketing. So that makes, I think, a lot of sense because Salesforce is a great platform with a lot of data that's locked into there, a lot of automation capabilities, customization capabilities. So for them to try to be the leading enterprise AI platform, I think makes a lot of sense. What we're doing is more on the back end, so we're kind of automating the process of setting all that platform up. There, that's not really the prime focus of Agentforce. Again, it's really focused on enabling their customers to deliver AI to their end users. So that said, a lot of Salesforce customers are quite unhappy with the cost of managing the platform, the need to constantly be engaging consultants to do even relatively simple things, and the time it takes to get stuff done. There's a skills gap between the business, what the business people know that they want done, and then the time it takes to actually implement that and translate those requirements into what's feasible and doable in Salesforce. And it's sometimes hard because Salesforce allows you to customize almost everything, but it's not equally distributed in terms of complexity. Like some things are very easy, then you might get like 80% of what you really want, or 90, and the remaining 10% can be kind of hard. So you need somebody to intermediate that and to think through, okay, what's reasonable? How can we make this simpler? What is the fastest way to get to what the business really needs, rather than, what the initial interview you have with the stakeholder may come up with all kind of requirements that are not really strictly necessary or based on a misunderstanding of how the platform really works. So there's a need for that expertise, but those people that are good at that, they shouldn't be spending their time, clicking on 100 buttons to get that stuff implemented. So that's where we see the gap, and that's not really being addressed by Salesforce because it's not their priority.
In that case, all of that consultants, are they your possible customers, partners, or maybe they don't want lost their money and market share because of our competitors?
So we definitely see them as potential customers and partners. We don't want to be a consulting company. We don't want to deliver those solutions to the end users. We want to enable both the customers of Salesforce and the consulting partners to be much more productive. So in a very short-sighted way, you could see that as being competitive with the current model of charging by the hour.
Yeah.
But I think most consulting companies realize that they need to do something. They can't keep working the same way. It's a very competitive space. If somebody else gets more efficient using AI, then they're just going to take the market. And if you're trying to stick to the old-fashioned way of delivering those services, sooner or later you're going to get bypassed by people who are more efficient. So we just want to be the people that help generate that efficiency and deliver that efficiency.
Do you have such a vision to take that market share from them? Why I'm asking, because it's a kind of difficult to sit to both chairs. Kind of, we cut your hours and you will charge less, but you will be more efficient. And at the same time, you go to the direct customers and offer them that product. Because I think huge consultants will try to protect their businesses as long as possible.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I think there's still a need for people with real expertise to understand, what the real requirements are that will help a business use Salesforce effectively, and translate that into the simplest possible implementation. And those people are going to be the ones that win this battle, not the people with the biggest team and that bill the most hours. So I think that's, as a consultant, it's a much better business model to charge a higher price for a more productive consultant rather than trying to put the maximum number of people onto a team. And we want to enable that. So no, I don't see it as being competitive. I think it's competitive with the old way of doing things, but it's not competitive with the new delivery model. And the same is going to be true for pretty much any process that can be automated with AI or partly automated with AI.
Makes sense.
If you're trying to do things the way you've always done it, do your accounting, your taxes, your legal stuff, you might be able to get away with that for a little while, but ultimately somebody's going to come around and disrupt that model. And if you haven't adapted, then you're dead. So you better adapt.
You're right. It's good that you have a choice of possible way of sales and possible partners. It's you can try different options. Because you can get access to a wide portfolio clients through just a one or two consultants firm. It's a good strategy.
Yeah, I think there's value for the consulting companies to be able to leave our product behind, to enable their customers to self-service, handle some level of support for the platform. Because very often as a consulting company, you come in, you do a project, you have people that are engaged during that project, but servicing those customers when requests might come in, once a week or very infrequently is very hard, because you need to maintain that expertise. You need to have somebody who understands what happened there. And part of, also what we do is to try to document any changes made through our platform so that we have better information. But still, it's by far the most efficient if the end customer can handle, the bulk of day-to-day requests without necessarily needing to be Salesforce experts. So again, that's kind of the vision where we're going.
Well, we touched a bit about technology, and I'm curious, which is unique architecture of your Cirra product? What made you different from competitors, or what led you to success?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's necessarily the architecture, but I think where the differentiation is, as I mentioned before, is really in the last mile, really, figuring out how to deal with the little things that go wrong in the connection between the LLM and the MCP server, or, other tool call capabilities. In Salesforce, there's like 3 or 4 APIs. They all kind of work slightly different. Sometimes you need an ID, sometimes you need a name, sometimes it's a name with a suffix, sometimes it's with a namespace prefix, and it's very inconsistent between the different data types. So just kind of handling as many as those of those as possible, and dealing with like the little constraints that, you can only create certain artifacts when other artifacts have already been created, the sequencing of those things. All of that is really where you go from something that's cool to look at to things that actually can work and reliably, execute tasks. Because if you don't get there, then the value is like a lot less obvious. If you still have to kind of manually go in and tweak things, then you're not getting the true value of the LLM. And even the kind of the chat-based interaction is a step on the way to a more agentic automation, because really what we want to get to is that you have a description of something you want in Jira or some other ticketing system, and you just assign that to Cirra AI instead of assigning it to a human team member. And the tool should interact with you in the same way that that human team member would, as in asking questions to clarify, confirming what the implementation is going to be, and then actually doing it, reliably and dealing with any kind of issues that happen along the way. So for some cases we can already do that. There's still, numerous cases where sometimes it breaks down. So dealing with that is the main challenge to really delivering agentic automation. In the chat-based interaction with an LLM, it's a little bit more forgiving in that if something goes wrong as a user, you can see what's happening, you can guide a little bit more.
Yep.
So that's why we're focusing on that first. But the ultimate goal is to get to the automation, full automation, and that's sort of similar to what you're seeing with like software development tools. You can't really assign a ticket to Cursor or some tool like that first.
You have to supervise that.
You have to be there and ask questions. But you are starting to see like some, what I've really enjoyed recently is like the bug bots that Cursor came up with, where basically it's listening to looking at your pull requests and it's analyzing that in the background, and it's like finding, I would say at least 50% finding some real nifty bugs that you would easily have missed even during a manual review. So that's like super useful. It's like it doesn't take any extra work. It's just in your workflow, and it's finding real things that save you lots of time down the road. So that's kind of where we also want to go with Cirra AI for the Salesforce space. And beyond that, actually, other enterprise platforms, not only Salesforce.
What do you think, as the CEO of Cirra AI, what is your main challenge right now for go-to-market? Is it fast of delivering? Is it just some technological barriers? What do you solve most right now?
I mean, I think up to now it's been the technological barriers. Now that we've kind of solved those, the main challenge I think is cutting through the noise, because people are bombarded every day with tools that claim to do lots of things, and trying to get people to actually use those tools and maybe build a little bit of expertise into how you can get real value out of them. That's the main challenge. Like just like the early days of even still now with LLMs and with tools like Cursor, etc., you really only get value if you adapt yourself a little bit to how the tools work. Because if you ask things that are too vague or incorrect, then you will get incorrect results. If you don't know how and when to steer a little bit, the productivity will be a lot less. So people need to get educated slightly on how to get value out of them, and that's the same for us. So I guess going beyond the early adopters that are just eager to try anything new, to the majority of the people, and trying to educate them on how to best use the tool to get value out of them. That's a challenge.
You're right. Here's a possible idea for startup, just to make a system to reach checking and proving that all of that startups actually works, because it's a problem. Everyone say that they can automate sales, marketing, whatever, and you have to spend time to understand, is it so or not? It's difficult to find the right decision for you, even if you want it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's always been, true for other software tools as well, right? Every tool has weaknesses, and you don't necessarily know what the weaknesses are until you've actually used it. But there's maybe been a more mature review system for legacy software. And some of that is a little bit missing in the AI case, and also partly because it depends so much on how you interact with the system as a user.
Well, actually, I think we covered today a lot of questions, and say a few words. Where can people try Cirra? Is it on air, on public right now, or do you have a demo?
Yeah, the product is live, so you can get a free trial today at cirra.ai and cirra.ai. There's a free trial button you can click on, or you can get a demo as well. same website. So would happy to get anybody's feedback. Our MCP server is still being launched in the next couple of weeks. So if you want to get access to that, just contact me on LinkedIn or contact us via the website. Yeah, we have pilot customers, trying it every day and getting more and more feedback. So definitely happy to talk to anybody who's interested to try the product.
Yeah, it's very important to getting that support and feedback. It makes you feeling that you're in the right direction and people want it. Yeah. And maybe are you hiring or fundraising, looking for partners right now?
We are looking for design partners still. So consulting companies or larger Salesforce users who are interested to help shape the next generation of the products. Definitely interested to work with those. Fundraising very soon, so we're starting to have like initial conversations with investors for a seed round. We anticipate really engaging in that like after the summer. But we're having initial conversations now, so any investors interested, we're happy to connect.
Do you have some relationship with Salesforce? Are they interesting in such partners as you? Do they help you, support you in some way?
We are a Salesforce partner, so we get some support in terms of the software and access to the platform. We don't have a deeper relationship than that at the moment. There's a lot of Salesforce partners, and they're also kind of really figuring out what to do in the AI space. So we haven't spent a lot of time on that aspect. We're really trying to just focus on getting the product to work and getting the initial customers happy and productive with the tool. But we will most likely publish something on the Salesforce, what they call Agent Exchange now, which is a way to get trusted add-ons to the Salesforce platform into Salesforce instances.
Thank you, Jell, for coming to studio, and I wish you company find a product market fit as soon as possible, get revenue, signing contracts with venture firms and customers. And I hope that our talk today helped you in building your business.
Yeah, thank you, Sergey, so much for inviting me. It was fun to be here and a great conversation. So enjoyed it a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.